Hi, I'm Jim Knotts, President and CEO of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund. Welcome to today's virtual reading of the names. 2022 marks the 40th anniversary of the dedication of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. As part of our commemoration, we'll host an in-person reading of the names at the wall from November 7th through 10th, 2022, when all 58,281 names on the wall will be read aloud. In the lead up to that event, we'll be reading names each day online while sharing the photos of these heroes. For our daily virtual reading, the names of the service members will be read by month and day of death between the years 1956 and 1975 in alphabetical order for the given day. We apologize in advance for any mispronunciations. Know that our readers are doing their best to honor these service members. We hope you'll listen and watch each day and share with others as we remember and honor those who gave their lives during the Vietnam War. Nelson Andino, Marcus Ray Asplund, Russell Leroy Bark Jr., Alfred Barnes Jr., Paul V. Barrington Jr., Luther Bethea Jr., Alvin Ray Bozarth, Richard Lee Brown, Douglas John Brustman, James Ronald Byrne, John Allen Campbell, Moises Cartagena Acosta, Danny Curtis Casey, James William Castor, Robert Matthew Cates Jr., Alan B. Cheeseman, Douglas Davis Kaufman, Lawrence Barbie Coleman Jr., Donald Clifton Collins, Henry Thomas Cox, Stephen Vincent Crum, Joseph William Cruz, James William Davis, Gregory Del Guidici, George Abraham DeLuca, David Ronald Devers Sr., John Aloysius Dowd, Lonnie Joseph Ducote Jr., William James Durham, Mark Haskin Eaton, Lonnie Ellerby Jr., William Glenn Ferguson, Gilbert Ferrante, John Lionel Fielder, Philip Rush Fink, Jerry Lee Fordham, Russell Patrick Forrestal, Troit Donovan Freeland, Michael Arthur Gage, Kent Ellsworth Gandy, Harvey Woodford Gilbert, Jean Raymond Golahone, Nicholas Perez Gurnias, Lester Allen Hansen, George D. Henry Jr., Terry Richard Hinkle, Rodney Lewis Hoffman, Michael James Holloway, Wade Murray Huso, Danny Lee Ingalls, Nicholas G. Johnson Sr., Dwayne Aaron Johnson, Edward Charles Johnston, John Ivory Jones Jr., James Clarence Chunge, Jimmy Lynn Kratzberg, Carl Fred Crow, Freddie Lewis, Francisco Xavier Lycia, James Arnold Lysenby, Charles Lee Lyman, James Andrew Lyons, Gary Edward Marksmiller, Thomas William Madison,
Charles Crockett Matthews, Robert F. McLaughlin, Percy W. McClatchy, Kenneth Reed McDaniel, Donald Vernon McGregor, Kenneth Richard McLeese, Dana Edward Means, Frederick Moore Meller, Thomas James Mendenhall, Gerald Laverne Menzer, Terry Robert Meyer, Richard Millen, Ernest Randall Mullins, James Allen Norris, George Harold Norton, John Joseph O'Neill Jr., Jerry Wayne Ofstedall, Lester Eugene Unk, Johnny Hugh Patterson, John Frederick Pepin, Vicente Duenas Perez, Gerald Leslie Perry, John Cable Petty II, Wesley Robert Fenegard, Jr., Mark John Phillips, Harry V. Phillips, Jr., Thomas Richard Poliski, John Parker Powell, Donald Eugene Pragman, Jerry Donnie Reed, James R. Rice, William L. Ripley, Larry Michael Robinson, Rosario Rosa Cien, Gary Lee Sargent, Norman Douglas Schultz, Stephen Clayton Scott, Bobby Joe Shockley, Philip Thomas Smith, John Calvin Smith, Russell Marvin Stodd, Gregory Carlisle Stitt, Kenneth Wayne Swafford, Lawrence Gordon Swarbrick, Robert Earl Swindle, Michael Jones Thomas, Harry Eugene Thomas, David Matthew Thompson, Edmund Ray Toller, Jerry Wayne Toone, Francis Wayne Townsend, Darrell Lynn Trumbull, John Ben Valdez, Charles Velasquez, Gary Lionel Venez, Michael D. Wallace, Alan Leah Ward, Robert Allen Washington, Richard Douglas Wellman, Robert Hugh Weston, John Curtis Whiteside, Leon David Willard, James A. Williams, Gordon Scott Weiss, Ronald Lee Woods, Robert Walter Woods, William Joseph Zemenick,